after my big break from YouTube to celebrate my victory, it is time that we get over the Digivolve cast in Digimon Rumble Arena and finish this series once and for all. I'm about to cry, I think, because this series really is about to come to an end. Oh, and by the way, for more explanation about why I took a break, you can find all the information in the video I will put at the right corner of the screen. Alright, we will discuss Stingmon in this video, Wormmon's champion level. Oh, and by the way, we did a full Wormmon character overview in this channel. Make sure to click the link in the description box or by simply going to the Digimon Rumble Arena playlist in the channel. Okay. Now, Stingmon and Gatomon are the only champion level Digimon in this game. The difference is that Gatomon was instead treated like a rookie and Stingmon was treated like a mega, which is why Stingmon can do more than Gatomon. Stingmon truly is a magnificent character in this game because it has gotten the right tools to do quite well in about any matchups despite having its own fair bit of flaws. I will get through all of them in this video. I sincerely believe that Stingmon was made a little too good by the developers, and that is why it was given flaws on purpose. That is why I'll start by going over the flaws first to make you understand my point. While many Digimon have good dash attacks which enable them to maneuver quite well on the floor as in the air, like for example Wormmon, Stingmon's dash attack is rather lackluster. The attack has no range, isn't really fast, doesn't even allow Stingmon to do much in the air, and it can be a challenge to land a hit with it. Another flaw of Stingmon is its projectile, the Moon Shooter. While we're talking about the long-range projectile, which is a wonderful addition for any Digimon, it is quite average, especially for a Digivolved character. The projectile isn't really big and thus easy enough to avoid. It is also a projectile that will be destroyed once it comes into contact with another projectile, and the biggest flaw I would say is that in the air the projectile is only fired at a 45 degrees downwards angle, and that's it. You cannot choose another angle. Which means that in the air it is likely that the projectile will, in most cases, be useless. It's much better when a projectile can cover at least the entire horizontal screen. When it is only at a 45 degrees downward angle, it leaves more than enough space for an opponent to quite frankly not even be bothered with it, especially when it has the right tools to hover above Stingmon. Maybe a small positive aspect about the projectile is that if it connects and Stingmon is near the opponent, its square combo might be used as a follow-up for additional damage because it leaves the opponent stunned for a short amount of time. Another one of Stingmon's flaw is its up square move. Up square is normally the motion used for a launcher, and launchers are important moves because they can be used to set up specials and supers. However, Stingmon's up square move doesn't launch. So to summarize, when it comes to its flaws, you have its projectile that is quite limited in the air and relatively easy to avoid, its uppercut that doesn't launch, and its dash attack that doesn't give it many benefits, like for example mobility. And yet, despite these flaws, I must repeat that Stingmon is the type of character that probably was given flaws deliberately in order to avoid making it too strong. Let us now take a look at its many strengths. Firstly, Stingmon has very good range with its normal. A bit surprising because it doesn't carry a weapon or anything, and yet it can reach the opponent from quite a distance. Secondly, while Stingmon may not have a good dash attack, it does have a very good aerial mobility. Up in the air, when it uses its up square move, it can prolong its time in the air. This move, in combination with its dive kick, which can be cancelled into many of its other moves, means that Stingmon can move quite well in the air. Thirdly, while it is true that Stingmon doesn't have a launcher with its normal, it does have a grab which launches, and I would say that in many cases that launching with a grab is much better than a regular up square launcher, because all it would take for Stingmon is to successfully land a grab, which definitely isn't impossible in this game, to get a guaranteed launch, which can be followed up with many other moves like its super, the Dark Antenna. A very cool super where it flings its antenna and creates a supersonic sphere which, if connected properly, drains the opponent's health and adds some to its own. I would say that this is the best way to use the super because it isn't unblockable. Still a very interesting move because a health boost means that a Digimon becomes more durable in combat. Stingmon has another move called the Spiking Strike where it extends its spike and dashes forward horizontally. When it connects, it hits the opponent 2 times before causing a hard knockdown. And when in the air, the move will, instead of going horizontally, go downwards in a 45 degrees angle. When it successfully lands, the opponent will be left standing, but Stingmon could combine its square combo for additional damage. And it is also a perfect move to avoid the projectile by jumping over it and then to come in with such a powerful move. Mind you that Stingmon can use all its specials in the air and on the floor, giving it options about everywhere on the screen. That is why I said that Stingmon was probably given flaws on purpose, because despite being a champion, it does have options in most situations. That cannot even be said about some other mega level Digimon in the game. Sure, its dash attack isn't really that useful, but it can use its spiking strike instead. And Stingmon doesn't need a launcher because it has a grab that launches, which can be combined with other moves. And on top of that, Stingmon has speed, projectiles, great aerial mobility, range in its moves. It is the only Digimon in the game that can heal. So all in all, Stingmon is a solid pick despite lacking in some areas. What do you think about Stingmon? Let us know in the comment section, and do not forget to check the Digimon Rumble Arena playlist for the other character overview videos.